Yesterday, Eskom's top management said they believe that one of the reasons there will not be worse than stage 4 load shedding during the summer months is that 3 units at the Kusile power station will soon return to service. That comes after the Environmental Affairs Minister, Barbara Creecy, granted permission for the units to operate without their flue gas desulpharisation systems. In other words, they'll be allowed to put a lot more pollution into the air to keep these systems working. Thomas Mnguni is a coal campaigner at the organisation Groundwork. Thomas, good afternoon to you. What impacts will this have on the people who live around the Kusile power station?
Thanks, Stephen, and good afternoon to the listeners. Stephen, I think it goes without saying that we will see more people being hospitalized, we will see more people dying, and we'll see more people contracting respiratory diseases. I think it's well documented, not only by us, but also by the government and eskom, that any extra amount of pollution that goes into the atmosphere has very adverse impacts onto ordinary people's health. And we also know that the public health system is not in a position to deal with those health impacts in an adequate manner.
The obvious argument that will come is that we need the power, we need these generation units. Do you think the cost that these people will pay is too high?
Look, I think we are paying for electricity with our lives. And I think I've always repeated this. Whose energy are we talking about? Because we know ordinary people do not have access to energy. Ordinary people cannot afford electricity. But we also know that the rate of unemployment is very high. But having said that, we also need to remember this decision has been made at the backdrop of the court decision or court judgment that said the right to a healthy environment is not a progressive right. It's a right that must be realized immediately. So basically, to me, it's like the minister took a decision in complete disregard of what the court has ordered her to do, to say, make sure that you protect people's rights, make sure that that right is not being violated, and she's doing the complete opposite. So it begs the question as to, are we all equal before the law? And is the minister going to consider being compliant with the law and sticking to what the judgment has said? And if you look into the cost, I mean, ordinary people cannot even afford to go for a private health doctor to get adequate health care. So the question is, are we prepared to risk ordinary people's lives because we want to keep the lights on? And whose lights are we keeping on?
There may be some people, so the minister's basically confirmed her decision. There was an appeal against it. She is the final authority. The only other way to overturn this would be to go to court. Are you looking at going to court to overturn it? It would have a big consequence for the national grid if you did, but you may be in your rights to do it.
Look, we are within our rights, but we will be meeting with Vugani Environmental Movement and our Attorney Center for Environmental Rights next week to see what is the best way forward. And I think from there we'll take it forward. But I think just to note that as much as both eskom and the minister disputed the health report, but they still agree that people are dying. And for the mere fact that one person and one life is too many, I think we will do whatever it takes to make sure that the rights of the people to a healthy environment is being realized, and that right is being realized immediately.
There will also be another argument that this flue desulpharisation system, once it's working again and will be fixed, will make it safe to use. So once the system is fixed, once the flue desulpharisation system is up and running, the smart chimney, should we still use Kusile?
Look, a couple of years back, we indicated to the minister that we don't need to complete all units at Kusile. It's not cost effective, but also we've got other alternative technologies. So at that time, I think we said let them complete units 1, 2, and 3 and leave the other units so that we could move to other alternatives. And I mean, we're talking about cleaner technologies. But they continued with the units. And we know that even after they said they've decommissioned all the units, Kusile never managed to provide the grid with maximum output. So for me, I think it's a very costly exercise. It's costly in terms of maintaining it, it's costly in terms of refurbishing the plant, in terms of fixing it. But the most important cost we should think it's about the health of the people, because that will go on for quite some time. So for me, it's about how best could we use the current units in an effective way such that it fits into the grid. And if we have to decommission the other units, I think that will be the best solution we've taken, because we've got other cheaper units to produce energy.
Thomas Mnguni, thank you. Coal campaigner at Groundwork. Really appreciate the time.